on that throw down. Let's get us a showdown. Come and get some, I got another go around big as they is so hard they go down. Since this will be something we can't change, but quitting will stop you from great gains, and faith will make capable great things. I done decided to break pain. Mess around and call me on my A game, so speed like the A train. The path that I'm stalking on, I gotta maintain. All by myself, I don't gang bang. When you want to get in my crown, then I'm down every time, not just now and then. Yeah, I heard you got your thousands, but me, yo, I got my 10,000s. God gave me dreams doing that, I would chase them.
I'm steady chasing, I'm staying focused on what I'm gonna be. I'm making it up, but I won't lose my, 'cause I'm still taking my destiny. I'm still starting my destiny.
What up? Good afternoon, BFAM 1096. Good afternoon, Facebook, IG, wherever you are tuning in. This is the Tea Time. I'm sorry, this is not the Tea Time show. This is Tea Time with Tara, live and on air. I am your host, Tara M. Williams, the voice of faith, hope, love, and leadership. Here we discuss business and Bible basics. We believe that you have a voice and it needs to be heard. Be sure to go over to my YouTube channel at Stalk Your Destiny and like and subscribe. Also catch my other show, the Tea Time with Tara show, where I ask guests what they need on their journey along the way to stalking their destiny. If you guys want to connect with me with social media, you can follow me at Instagram at Stalk Your Destiny Official, or you can look up Tara M. Williams on Facebook and connect with me there. Again, I am Tara M. Williams, the voice of faith, hope, love, and leadership. Welcome to Tea Time with Tara, live and on air. Our sponsors for today, guys, we love sponsors. We love if you would be a sponsor, we love to shout you out. Our sponsors for today are Handy Hicks LLC. Shout out to Handy Hicks LLC. They've been a sponsor or a supporter of almost all things Stalk Your Destiny, a great community person. So shout out Handy Hicks LLC. Also shout out Stalk Your Destiny, where we're connecting you to your destiny one step at a time. And we believe everything you want to become, you already are. So I'm going to jump right into it today, guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in every week. We appreciate it here at the show. And I hope that you guys are getting everything you need out of it. Be sure to, if you're able to comment while you're listening in or comment while you're watching, guys, be sure that you do that because you can interact here with me. This is, we do say you have a voice and it needs to be heard. So I want to hear from you too. So our food for thought quote today comes from my book, ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny. And the quote here comes from the chapter called Habits. Okay. And this says, what usually happens when it comes to getting rid of bad habits is that we don't take the time to replace them with good habits. I'm going to read that again. What usually happens when it comes to getting rid of bad habits is that we don't take the time to replace them with good habits. So have you ever had it where you're like, okay, like fasting, right? Because this is about fasting. These devotionals that I'm doing are about fasting, right? So you're like, okay, I'm going to stop, or even just a regular, let's say a bad habit, okay? I'm going to stop drinking, right? I'm going to stop drinking. But if you don't replace that habit with something else, for example, when I want to drink a non-alcoholic beverage, but I still want to enjoy myself, I drink cranberry and sour. It's a great refresher, right? It's a non-alcoholic beverage, and I can replace the alcohol beverage with that. That can be my go-to because I love that drink, right? I love cranberry and sour, non-alcoholic, right? So I replace that. But what if I just said, oh, I'm just going to stop drinking. Then every time that I go out into that environment where alcohol is available, or even the grocery store, where alcohol is available, I'm more susceptible to continuing my habit because that habit being formed already is it's muscle memory, right? It's already in me. Have you ever had it where you want to not do something and then you go forward and do it anyway. Like you automatically go in the direction of that thing. And that's because we have not gotten rid of the thing, right? And also, and I'm gonna go further into that. We haven't gotten rid of what the thing is, right? But we also have not replaced it with anything. And also going back to saying, you know, getting rid of a bad habit. Like, how do you get rid of it and keep it, you know, away? If you want to play keep away with bad habits, it's not just replacing it with the good habit. You have to get rid of it first. And oftentimes it's letting go of it. Like if I use alcohol as the example and I say, okay, I no longer want to drink, right? So if that's the example, like I don't want to drink alcoholic beverages anymore. Well, do I have self-control to be in an environment where alcohol is? That's one thing. It's like being aware of your surroundings, being aware of your environments. Do I have self-control to be in that type of environment? Not only that, when do I gravitate towards wanting alcohol, right? When do I gravitate towards this particular bad habit? And it may not even be a bad habit, you guys. Sometimes we just want to change our habits or our behavior patterns, right? So let's take a good thing, right? I want to wake up earlier in the morning, right? This is a new example. I want to wake up earlier in the morning. And so in waking up early in the morning, we have to go around that thing. We're not just, okay, I'm going to get up at 5. And you just think that, well, you're replacing sleeping in with getting up at 5 a.m. It doesn't necessarily work like that. You actually have to prep yourself to rid the habit of sleeping in and prep yourself to go towards the habit of getting up early. And so when we don't think things through, we tend to fall short. And then we're like, that didn't work anyway, back to my old ways, because that muscle memory takes you there anyway. You don't have to fight against it, right? So around getting up earlier, you have to be intentional the night before to say, I am going to bed earlier because I want to get this amount of sleep and I want to be awake at X, Y, and Z time, right? I want to be awake at this certain time. So I'm going to make sure that I get the sleep I need so that when it's time for me to be up, say at 5 a.m., then I'm up without a hitch. And even if you're up with a hitch, you know, just get up. You know, and so you're retraining yourself and reprogramming yourself. So what usually happens when it comes to getting rid of bad habits is that we don't take the time to replace it with the good habit. And we also don't take the time to figure out what's necessary to be rid of that bad habit, you know? And so even in the waking up example, it's like, am I getting up in the morning, you know, and what's the best time for me to get up? Am I setting alarms? I've mentioned before on the show that I'm a snoozer, you know, so I need to set alarms earlier than the time that I intend to get up because I know I want to snooze. So if I want to get up at 5 o'clock, alarms start going off at 4:30, 4:45, 4:57, you know, so that at 5 a.m., my mind is awake, I'm alert, I'm intentional, and I am up. But that means that I had to have gone to sleep the night before for however many hours I need to sleep. So go throughout your week, guys, thinking about that. Like, okay, there are some things I want to change because welcome to autumn, you know, welcome to the fall season, guys. We're here. It's, you know, I don't know how many of y'all look forward to this season, but this is one of the most beautiful seasons for me to experience. So welcome to fall, you know, welcome to the fall season. And now we're into a new thing, right? So that means that you have the opportunity now to go. Well, we have the opportunity every day, every minute, every hour to go into something new, okay? But sometimes ushering in a new season of life. And also it began on a Sunday, which I count Sundays as the beginning of the week as well. So we've entered into something new. What is something new you want to do in your own life? You know, take that with you this week. Think about that. Okay. Now, for our devotional, guys. So those of you who've been following the show or not, you know, we're doing a devotional series. We're following a devotional series, which is called Earthly Branches, a 12-book devotional series. Okay. And so this month we're on the book Faith. we're in the book Faith of Earthly Branches Daily Devotionals. 12 book devotional series. Okay, we're in the book of Faith this month, and I let you guys know that I would let you know what we're going to study for October. So last month in August, when the show started, we studied from the devotional New Beginnings, and so for October, we'll be studying from the book Courage. Okay, Courage is the focus for October, and this is the Earthly Branches 12 book devotional series that we're studying from. Now, guys, either of these books that I've mentioned are all available at www.stalkyourdestiny.com/shop. Okay, and that's stalk, STALK, yourdestiny.com/shop if you wanted to get any of the devotionals that we've mentioned, that we've studied already, or that I've shared with you. I've only shared bits and pieces of each. So if you want to study for yourself, these are interactive devotionals. They do ask the questions. They do have space for you to write in them as well. And there is one per month. And so this month we're on Faith. But starting next week, we will be on Courage. Okay. So if you want to follow along as well, go ahead and visit the website, www.stalkyourdestiny.com/shop, and order your book. Also, all of my books are available at Amazon.com as well. If you're more comfortable going to Amazon, you can look up Tara M. Williams, and all of my books should come up there as well. And you can order them directly if you want to get them faster. Some of you all might have Prime and get them the next day. So we're in Faith, and today we're in Habakkuk 2. Okay, that's the Bible, because this is business and Bible basics, y'all. Let's get with it. Okay, business and Bible basics. We're in Habakkuk 2, and I'm not going to read it all, as I usually do not read all of it, but I will skip around for this one, because Habakkuk 2 it's not lengthy when you read it on your own, but for the show's sake, I'm going to just skip around for you all. Okay, Habakkuk 2 says, I will stand at my watch and station myself on the ramparts. I will look to see what he will say to me. And then we skip down. It says, write the revelation and make it plain on tablets so that a herald may run with it. For the revelation waits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay. Skipping down to verse 9, which says, woe to him who built his house by unjust gain, setting his nest on high to escape the clutches of ruin. Then here it says, has not the Lord, this is verse 13, I'm just skipping around, y'all. Has not the Lord Almighty determined that the people's labor is only fuel for the fire, that the nations exhaust themselves for nothing? Verse 15 says, woe to him who gives drink to his neighbors, pouring it from the wineskin till they are drunk, so that he can gaze on their naked bodies. You will be filled with shame instead of glory. And jumping around to verse 18, which says, of what value is an idol carved by a craftsman, or an image that teaches lies? For the one who makes it trust in his own creation. He makes idols that cannot speak. Woe to him who says to wood, come to life, or to lifeless stone, wake up. Can it give guidance? It is covered with gold and silver. There is no breath in it. And so those are some verses from Habakkuk 2. I just skipped around Habakkuk 2, okay? And so now with this, the first point here says, it is important to be in right position when seeking the Lord. Are you looking with expectancy in your heart? Be sure to not move before hearing what God has to say. So the daily focus here says, wait and watch for the Lord's answer. Wait and watch. A lot of us listen for God, but he says, wait and watch, because when you're looking for God, and there's nothing, we should be listening for God as well. But when you're waiting and looking for God, that's a different level of expectancy. I'm not just expecting to hear something. I am actively seeking it out. Like, where are you, God? Okay. And the question for the day here is, have you complained to God and then tried to fix the issue yourself? Because a lot of us are guilty of that. We're like, okay, I'm going to give it over to God. And then I go pick it back up from the altar like, that's mine. Thank you. Give it back. Have you complained to God and then tried to fix the issue yourself? I think that that's something that we all try to do. It's hard to wait and watch when you feel like you need an answer right now. Like, I need it now. The stuff that's going I guess it's a TikTok thing going around where they're saying, give me my money. Like, I need it now. Or the commercial, it's my money and I need it now. I don't know what region you're in, guys, but there's a commercial that says, it's my money and I need it now. Okay. And so, but when we're waiting and, waiting on God and watching for God, you can't go before God and try to make it happen on your own as well. I think we'll get a little more into that in the business section here. Okay. But the next point here says, make your vision simple enough to be carried on by others who read it. It will come to be. Wait, knowing it may linger, but it will not delay. Okay. And so here, making your vision simple enough to be carried on by others, those of us who may be entrepreneurs or in management or things like that, I think that we don't look at the fact that we need to be able to have a successor. Okay. We need to be able to teach someone else. We need to be able to replace ourselves. Okay. And so even in carrying on the vision in terms of entrepreneurship, your team needs to be able to carry out your plan. And if it's not simplified, that's hard to do. Okay. So the daily focus here says your vision has an appointed time. Wait on it. And the question for the day is your vision written and plain enough to be carried, which is what I was just saying. Is your vision written and plain enough to be carried? Okay. The third point says this: the enemy's desires are not right concerning the righteous. He is greedy and will be taunted for his extortion. Your debtors will come for you. You must pay for the blood you have shed. I don't even think I read anything about that, y'all. So I'm just going to keep moving on because I'll just tell y'all what the daily focus is here. It says, what you do to and against others will come against you. And then the question here is, what are you willing to pay the price for? What are you willing to pay the price for? And so I don't think I read anything about that, right? Let me see. I'm not going to go into that. I'm just going to skip around, okay? I'm not going to go into any more of that because let me see. This last point says, what you do to others will be done to you also. Okay? It says, the terror you have caused, you must also face. Seek God, not lifeless idols. He awaits you. Turn from your evil warp and seek God. That's the daily focus, right? And the question here is, is the hell you cause others worth? Let me slow down. Is the hell that you cause others worth the hell that you will face? And I should have looked ahead to see that. That's a heavy question. Are you treating others the way you want to be treated? Number one. And then number two is, are you creating hell for others? And do you understand that what you're doing for them, they say if you dig a ditch for one, you might as well dig a ditch for two, because what you try to do to them will happen to you. It will happen to you. So be mindful of that, y'all. I'm not even talking about karma. I'm just talking about ill intentions here, ill intentions. And hopefully, and it's interesting, right? I find it interesting sometimes in the Bible where we have these hopeful portions of scripture, but in the same chapter, then it goes to address some other things. Why is that together? Why is it together here where it says to, write the vision and make it plain? Because because here petitioned was a complaint to God. Okay. A complaint was petitioned. And he's like, I have this issue. I'm going to give this issue to God, and God, I'm going to wait on you to say something. I'm going to wait on you to show me something, right? But then later it talks about making others idols. It talks about, even getting to this, like doing evil, right? So be mindful, and I'm going to get into it. I'm going to get into it when we get to the business section. I love how God puts these things together, okay? But be mindful of what you desire and are asking God of, and be mindful of how you treat other people, y'all, because again, we are many members in one body. We need one another. And you never know when you're entertaining an angel and you're unaware of it. So be mindful. It's not just gonna be like, oh, hey, I'm an angel, treat me the right way. No. That's not how this thing works, y'all, okay? That's not how it works. So be mindful of that. This reflection, right? I haven't read y'all the reflections before, but one of the reflections says, get in position and seek the Lord, okay? Because he stood watch. He stood watch, right? I got into right position. This says, wait patiently for an expected end. And I'm going to get into all of this in the business part of this in just a moment. What price are you willing to pay for evil deeds, y'all? What price? I'm not willing to pay anything for being wicked to you. I don't have time to be wicked to you, because I don't want you to be wicked to me. I don't want anybody to be, typically what you do to someone, if I'm wicked to you, it may not be you that's going to be wicked back to me. It's going to be someone else, that will be wicked to me. And so what price are you willing to pay for evil deeds? Like, why? Okay. And what you do will return to you. And it's not even about, the karmic of it all. It's about you setting yourself up to receive exactly what you're giving out to others, which is why it's important to walk in love. It's important to be mindful of that. It's important to treat others the way you treat yourself. And this is where self-love comes into play, because if you don't love you don't treat you well, you couldn't possibly treat others well. So it's important to be mindful of how you treat you, how you speak to you, how you speak over your own life. And then going forward with that, now I have additional love to give. Now I have additional support to give, because I've given it to myself. I've filled up on it, and now I have it to pass out to others. Can you imagine? And this is just being funny, y'all. Can you imagine going to pass out gifts and then you have an empty basket? What are you doing? What could you possibly be passing out if your basket is empty? You don't have anything to give out. And most times we are guilty of pouring from an empty cup. And so be mindful that you got to pour into you first and treat you well so that you can treat others well. Again, any of those books, the devotionals, the ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny, all of those are interactive books. You can get those at www.stalkyourdestiny.com. And with sponsorship, you guys, Stalk Your Destiny is one of our sponsors for the show this month. And so with that, I want to let you guys know that you can book a one-on-one chat with me right now. Actually, for the fall season, I would say, we have a fall sale on VIP sessions with me. And that's if you need to plan your year ahead, right? If you need to create a roadmap to success, that's your 10-year, 5-year, 3-year goals, break that down to a 1-year plan, and then figure out what steps you need to take to get that ball rolling, right? We don't make New Year's resolutions on December 31st. We make plans for the new year in August of the year before, and we work those plans to put things in place until the 1st when we get started and get going. So VIP sessions up to 2 hours with me. I am a life coach and chaos coordinator. For those of you who do not know that, VIP sessions are on sale now, where they were $1,000. Now they are $150 for the fall right now. Okay. It is limited slots available. But if you want to take your life to the next level, if you want to take your business to the next level, in terms of your goals, in terms of your mindset, in terms of just, really being able to have a full-on conversation and leave with clarity, leave with support, leave with a way forward, a clear, direct way forward, then maybe those VIP sessions are something you would want to get in on. Not only that, if you need an information packet for your business, right now we're promoting information packets. What that looks like is if you need a pitch deck for funding, for fundraising, if you need a pitch deck up to 10 pages, if you need a basic business plan for your business, if you have ideas that, of a program or something that you want to do in your community, but you don't have it packaged well and you need help with getting the thoughts on paper and making it look great and presentable in terms of a proposal or an outline of what it is you're presenting, we do have information packets available as well. And those are also on the site. They're on my stand.store. I'll let you know what that site is later today. But if you want to be a sponsor, guys, let us know here. Okay. Email me at teatimewithtara@gmail.com. And I'll tell you guys that again later in the show. I'm just throwing it out there right now because sponsorships are necessary to get your business advertised and necessary to keep this show going. If you support what we're doing here on the show, this Business and Bible Basics, if you're tuning in every week, telling somebody about it, then, you may want to go ahead and be a sponsor an ad on the show. Or just be a supporter, guys. So I'll get more into that later. Let's go forward into our business topic today because I've kind of gone into it a little bit already, which I love. Like I said, I love the rollover of our quote for the day about habits and replacing those, getting into the devotional, portion of things of writing your vision, making it plain, and waiting on God. Okay. So today's business topic is stop running ahead of yourself and God's plan. Stop running ahead of yourself and God's plan, right? And so now going back to the scripture of writing the vision and making it plain. I heard somebody say before, like, we think that we're supposed to write the vision. It's all they're our ideas and our own thoughts. Sure, you can write down what you think and what you desire for your life to look like and what you want. But line that up with what God has for you when you're writing this vision, because he can give you a brand new vision of what that looks like, or the execution of those things, of that vision. I am somebody who's written all these different books, who created these programs, who does coaching. And to some people, it looks like, man, she's all over the place. And to others who understand what it means to be a chaos coordinator is that I am a person that can handle all of these things, but I got all of these things from sitting with God, waiting and watching what God was saying to me. And my visions were not my own thoughts. I never thought I would write all these different books. I did know that I wanted to be an author. And I did, I was intentional about writing and publishing my first novel. But even with that, God told me how to do it, and when more books started coming, it was because God was telling me, you got a book here. You have a book here. Thank you for spending time with me. Now you have a book here. Take this and publish it, and even the skill set. So what is your vision? What's your vision? What's that thing that keeps pulling at your heart? Like, if money, and I ask this to my clients, y'all, I am a life coach. So if money was not an object, what would you get up and do each day? Like, how would you want to spend your day? And asking that question, y'all, please be mindful that everyone around you does not have to want or desire the same thing or lifestyle as you. You can be someone who loves to serve. And so your perfect day, what you would love to get up and do if money was not an issue, could be to volunteer at a shelter, to be helping out the community, passing out things, whatever, serving food, hosting, it can be whatever you love to do, because again, we need to be cheerful in our giving. So what is your vision for your life? What thoughts do you have towards your life, right? Take some time and write those things down. Think about them and write it down, though, because putting pen to paper changes things. Putting pen to paper allows you to come back to that thought, revisit it, dissect it, whatever it is you need to do with it. But putting it on paper also allows the space to where when God speaks to you, you can write it down. And that's the thing about being in the right position, too. I will go to my post, I will sit, and I will wait to see. Well, if you don't have any visible thing, if God's going to speak to you and you don't have pen and paper, how will you see what the Lord has said? And on the other hand as well, if you're not expecting God to do a thing for you, then your eyes are not open towards it. So when God does it, oftentimes we miss miracles. We miss small miracles. We miscount them. Every single day, we miscount miracles every single day because we're just like, oh yeah, I just got lucky. Or we're just not even looking at it. Like we're just not even seeing that God is doing what he said, and writing it down gives us the opportunity to go back and say, wow, God really did what he said he was going to do. God really revealed to me, and I'm talking about, this is the business session, y'all. This is the business portion of this, business and Bible basics, like seeing what God says about your vision. Like you have these ideas like real estate, right? A lot of people are getting into real estate. They want to own different properties. They want to flip properties. Some people want to rent out properties in terms of Airbnb and other shelter options, right? And so that's your vision. Now, who you serve in that, where you serve in that, would have to be God's vision for you. It would be, okay, God, I have this desire to do this in business, and I'm believing you for this. Show me how. And that's a thing, we don't necessarily ask God for direction. We don't ask God for, how do you want me to go about this? Is this what you have for me in business? And sometimes that's where we fail. We do our own thing. We're like, I don't need to ask God anything. I know it came to me, so it's God, right? Well, we can confuse ourselves for God. We're like, oh, I'm just going to just follow what I think. No, line it up with God's word. Ask him to show you in his word what direction, in terms of that. Ask God to help you strategize. I think last week or the week before I talked about partnering with God. So what is your vision, right? And then this next question I wrote down, it just says like, what are you willing to give up or grow up to walk your vision out, right? So when we talked about those habits and getting rid of old habits, getting rid of bad habits and replacing them with new ones, here, what are you willing to give up or grow up to walk out your vision? And y'all, this is like about stretching, because even walking by faith or taking a leap of faith requires you to stretch, okay? Because that's not an easy feat. Going after the vision that God gave you or the vision you have of your own business-wise, like taking steps towards business, or even and this is not just for entrepreneurs, you guys. If you're at a job and you want to get promoted, or you want to be better in your performance, you've still got to have a vision for where you see yourself at this company, or in your own company, or in your community. Whatever you're doing, you've got to have a vision of like, why am I here? Why am I here? Even as a stay-at-home parent, full-time parent, why am I here? What is my vision for this? And what am I giving up for it? Because everything that we want in our life, that we want to elevate us, requires us to give up or grow up in something. Okay? Every area that we want to elevate requires us to give up or grow up in something. And that looks like saying, where people would say, you can't be who you are today and think that what you want, you're going to have it tomorrow if you're still this person that you are today. Which means that we've got to constantly be growing. You've got to become self-aware. You've got to be learning. And in terms of giving up, even with the Bible, we're supposed to die daily to ourselves and serve and give and love, right? One another. And so in that, are you willing to make that type of sacrifice? And even for your own vision. Most times when we chase our dreams and we go after our goals, that requires major sacrifice. Even if it's saying, okay, I'm going to work my job and I'm going to work on this business, or I'm going to quit my job, I'm going to work this business, or I'm going to sacrifice my time with my family to get us to the next level. I'm going to sacrifice, all these different things, right? Give up and grow up to walk your vision out. Are you willing to do what it takes to get to where God would have you to be? Are you willing to stalk your destiny? Are you willing to do that, guys? Because stalkers don't quit. Stalkers are relentless. And I'm not talking about or encouraging anybody to stalk anything that does not belong to them. I am referencing right now stalking your purpose, your vision, your destiny, who God has called you to be. Being relentless in your pursuit of going after who God says you are and what God said you can have. Are you willing to stalk your destiny? And I read in one of my journals I was reviewing for the year, Toni Morrison is one of the authors that I absolutely love, right? And she said before, if you want to fly, you've got to give up the shit that weighs you down. If you want to fly, you've got to give up the shit that weighs you down. And if you don't want to face that, you're just going to be talking about flying for years and never do it. You'll be talking about taking that leap of faith and never do it because you're not willing to unhinge yourself from the things. It's not always that people and things hold on to us. Many times, often, it's that we don't want them to let go. So we hold on to them, or we keep them holding on to us because we're not ready to be free. And I say it all the time. I say that, flying feels like falling until you learn how to fly. And so I think I'm saying, like, when you take a leap of faith, right? When you take a leap of faith, it feels like you're falling until you learn how to fly. But you can't possibly learn how to fly with your feet on the ground. So you've got to be willing to jump. You've got to be willing to leap. And it feels like you're falling until you learn how to fly and you learn how to soar and go higher. But you've got to be willing to not be unmoved. You've got to be willing to move away from. Okay. And so the grow up part of that is that you've got to face the mindset that it takes to say yes to what's ahead of you. You've got to be willing to look at yourself and say, am I willing to do this or am I not? Am I being real about this or am I not? Does this thing have a hold on me or am I holding on to this thing? And be real about it. And yes, it can be very terrifying to go after your purpose and your destiny. It can be very terrifying to chase your vision, to bring it to life. But if it wasn't worth it, would you even care to go forward in it? I wouldn't. If I wasn't waking up every day to change lives daily, I wouldn't care about none of this. I would not care. Why would I write a 12-book devotional series if I didn't care about God? If I didn't care about making sure that others know how to apply the word to their own lives? If I didn't care about leadership, why would I write the ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny? If I didn't care about business and Bible basics and changing lives daily, why would I even show up here? Why would I have tea time, right? So think about not only what you're thinking about, think about what you're doing and why you're doing it, okay? Another point here I wrote to focus in on was that mindset towards the waiting period. So you wrote the vision now, right? You got the vision, you dealt with the, okay, maybe I'm willing to grow up maybe I'm willing to, to release some things. And I've asked God to show me, does my vision line up with his? If so, how, right? So you've done these things, but now you have to wait. And I dealt with that, you guys. Like, waiting can be so hard. It's really like, what am I waiting on? Like I was saying, okay, sit down and wait and see what God says. Have a piece of paper and all those things ready, right? What if you're waiting for months? What if you are waiting for years? Y'all, I was constantly creating, constantly producing. I have all these books because I was constantly doing what God was telling me to do. And I was still waiting in that time. We have the fruits of our labor. This is the proof. The fruit is the proof of what God told me to do. This is the faith, the things that were unseen, right? That is now visible. Okay. The things that were unseen are now visible in the fruit of my labor, right? But where are the benefits of it? Why am I producing fruit and still waiting? So what is your mindset in the waiting period? Because we can battle with that. We can struggle with that. This is where you run ahead of yourself. This is where you run ahead of God. Like, I'm tired of waiting. Like, God, you're just taking so long and it just looks like it's not going to happen. I'm going to make it happen. Some of us want to move and make it happen. Guess what? You can do what God directs you to do. Okay. If God directs you to take a step forward, go do it. If God says run to the end of this thing, run to the end of it. If God says sit down and know, be still and know that I am God. One thing I know for sure is that God does not need our help in getting us to our destiny. He needs our willingness to trust and obey, but he does not need our help to get us to where we need to go. And that is a very hard pill to swallow because it looks desolate. It looks empty. It looks barren. It looks broke. It looks like trickles of blessings here and there. Until you reach the end of that thing, until you get to the right position, until you're in the right timing. I know we talked about Ecclesiastes 3 on the show as well. There's a time for everything. There's a season for everything. So what is your mindset towards your waiting period? Are you just complaining like, God, get me out of here? Are you forfeiting your destiny? Are you forfeiting it? Because we do that. We're human. We forfeit. Like, I don't want to wait anymore. I'm sick of waiting. I'm tired of this. I don't even want it that badly, and that comes to the question, how bad do you want it? And sometimes when we give up, it's actually us getting into a posture of surrender. And we don't realize it. And God's like, now you're right where I need you to be, because I didn't need your help in the first place. God does not need our help to be God in our lives. He's going to do it when he's ready to do it. But sometimes when we're so impatient and we run ahead of God and we ruin things, or we go on this detour, God's still with us. God is still with us, But when you get so frustrated, or you just get so tired, or you just decide, like, my mindset towards waiting is I'm going to wait however long it takes, right? When we reach a place of total surrender and we can stretch our arms up and we can stretch our arms out to God and say, God, I just give this to you. I'm going to trust your timing. I'm going to wait on you. I'm going to believe your word, or the song Oceans, right? By Hillsong. I think it's called Oceans by Hillsong. It says, Spirit, lead me where my trust is, where my faith is without borders. I believe where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would lead me, right? And she says, take me deeper than my feet could ever wander. Okay? Take me deeper than where is your faith? Where's your faith? Can you even say, God, lead me? Spirit, lead me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander. Like, God, I just want to go to the places you have for me, because even our vision for ourselves is not as big as the vision God has for us. It's not as powerful as the vision that God has for us. And I don't mean that in a way of like, being famous on social media or anything like that. I mean that you never know the complete impact you have on one or more persons. And when we want to impact the world, what we should recognize is that impacting the world means impacting the people around us. I have seen so many people, and I'll just share this with you guys. I went to the airport recently. I was at the airport, and what I noticed was everybody was on their phones. And we all want to be social media famous. We all want to be, internet famous or viral or whatever, right? And we're just, oh, this is social media. I'm being social. But at the airport, everybody was so busy on the internet that nobody was present in reality. Nobody was present in reality. And what if God called you to impact that space? When you're at the doctor's office, when you're at a meeting, when you're at whatever, what if God called you to be present in those places of people, real life people that you engage with or encounter on a daily basis? And God wants you, with your vision, right? These are people you have to connect with for him to get you the vision that he has for you, which is bigger and greater than what you're thinking. What is your mindset towards the waiting period, y'all? And even with that, what is your posture of expectancy while you wait? Because oftentimes when we ask God for something and we're believing for something and we're asking for our faith to be stretched, we have doubt and we have fears. And it's common for us to feel those ways. It's common for us to battle those things. And so if you having doubt and you having fear, like you working on your business relentlessly, you're doing the best you can do on your job, and you're still doubtful and you're still trying to help God bless you, which is not going to work. But you're doing what you know to do. You're doing whatever you can think of doing, right? What is your posture of expectancy while you wait? And are you letting doubt win? Because sometimes we have this posture of just, I don't really think it's going to happen. So God, you just going to have to prove me wrong. But if all you're feeding is, I don't think it's going to happen, what you're saying is, God, don't make this happen for me. Because our prayers are our petitions to God. And even in regular talk, God will hear you talking to him. Okay. And so even in your regular talk, if you're speaking out and spewing out doubt and fears, instead of saying, God, I have doubts. God, I have fears, but I want to trust. I want to believe. Help me to believe. Help me to trust. I want to see your promises in my life. Y'all know how many times I tell God every day, like, God, you said it. I want to see it. You said it. I want to see it, God. And I know it takes a long time sometimes. And I know other times it can be instant responses. But I always say, God, I want to see your promise. I want to see it. And I'm expecting it like a little child. Like, I want to see God's promises. Like, every day could be Christmas because God's going to do a new thing every day. He's going to do a new thing. If you breathe in today, you woke up today, guess what? Welcome to the new. If you're here for this moment, guess what? Welcome to the new. Welcome to the new. If you're excited about the next day, if you're excited about the next hour, welcome. Welcome. God is going to do a new thing, but are you expecting it? Are you seeking after it? Are you looking for it? Like, y'all know when you really want something and you sit down and you wait for it, you can't help but move your feet. You can't help but dance in your seat. You can't help but move your hands, right? Because you're excited about what you're expecting God to do over your life. And that instills a joy. It brings a joy, it can restore you also. I don't know why, but it causes you to be happy when you're expecting God to do something and you're trusting God. Like, God, I trust you with this. I trust you with this, right? So think about those things, guys. Think about your vision, your faith level, the posture you're taking, your mindset towards waiting, guys. And are you going before God, or are you seeking his plan out for your life? Because his plan's bigger. And are you willing to wait to see it come to pass and expecting that it will indeed come to pass? Okay, guys. Thank you so much for listening in. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to comment below, chime in on the show, go to YouTube and comment or whatever, like and share this with somebody, okay? But to be a sponsor for this show, guys, to keep this going, to keep us impacting lives on the airwaves, on the internet, just on the show, to be a sponsor, you can send an email to teatimewithtara@gmail.com, and that's TEA. TIME with Tara, TARAH, y'all, at gmail.com. Thank you, Helen. If you're the Helen that was here before, also thank you for returning. And I hope all is well with you and your husband and your journey as well. See, you're expecting. So I hope that everything's going well with you guys. Thank you for listening in, Helen. Guys, you can follow me on Instagram at Stalk Your Destiny Official. And again, to be a sponsor, you can also donate to the show, guys. So being a sponsor starts with a donation level, right? You can donate via Cash App at # Stalk Your Destiny, Venmo at Stalk Your Destiny, or PayPal.me/Stalk Your Destiny. You can make donations of any amount in that way if you just want to support the show. You just want to keep it going. And then if you want to be a sponsor, sponsorship packages are monthly sponsorships. They start as low as $50 a month, and they go up to $500 a month or more, depending on what it is you desire to take place in terms of ad placement. Okay, guys. So again, to be a sponsor, just email me at teatimewithtara@gmail.com, and I can send you our sponsorship information. Otherwise, you can connect with me on Instagram at Stalk Your Destiny Official. You can find me on Facebook at Tara M. Williams. Or again, you can just make a donation via Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo at Stalk Your Destiny, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed the show today. This was pretty impactful, full of a lot of faith today. And I hope that this show is encouraging you. I hope that this show is changing your life. I hope that when you go about your week, you reference back to some of the things that I said here, and you sit with whatever was resonating with you. Because the goal here is to make sure that you have the encouragement that you need, the thought-provoking questions and ideas for your life to be better. Because God, my church in St. Louis, one of the churches I belong to back in St. Louis, the pastor always says, God is for you. And you really got to believe that God is for you in your business and your business life. If it's your work life, your family life, whatever you make your business to do each day, to serve in each day, whatever area of capacity you're serving in, God is for you, y'all. This has been another episode of Tea Time with Tara, live and on air. I am your host, Tara M. Williams, the voice of faith, hope, love, and leadership. Here we discuss business and Bible basics, and we believe you have a voice and it needs to be heard. Please like and share the video if you're watching on YouTube, Instagram, anything like that, wherever you may see it, Facebook, or if you're listening in, let somebody know that we're here every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and they can chime into BFAM1096.com where you guys can listen in. You have a voice that needs to be heard. Also, catch my other show on my YouTube page, Stalk Your Destiny. That's the Tea Time with Tara show, where I interview guests about what they need along the way to stalking their destiny. Again, I am Tara M. Williams, the voice of faith, hope, love, and leadership. Thank you for tuning in to Tea Time with Tara, live and on air today. I'll be back next Monday with the book Courage, you guys. We're going to start on Courage next week, okay? Until next time.
I'm staying focused on what I'm gonna be. I'm making
Every time it's on everything, alive, you cheesing, I'm cheddaring. No matter the form of the weaponry, gotta keep stalking my destiny. Time's getting worse, I'm bettering. My sin is secure, ain't no tethering. I ain't gon' stop till I rest in peace and they put a hold on my great lettering. Every time, I ain't lay back unless I'm in my 300. Circle is little, cause I keep it 100. Minus my issues, I'm so hard when I'm on it. 100% ain't enough, I get 200. Every time, know what I'ma run from. I'm that one opponent, you don't want none from. Manual vet where my strength get pumped from. So what's the lie to a child of God? Standing toe to toe, no hiding out. The Lord is with me, you can't fight the rock. I got the sauce, you want out of high. The destiny mine, I'ma stalk it out. The strength is after you just bought it out. Your giant carcass, I'ma walk it out. You gon' be wishing that you wouldn't have called me out. Cause every time be on that throw down, let's get us a showdown. Come and get some, I got another go around. Big as it is, so hard they go down. Since destiny something we can't change, but quitting will stop you from great gains. And faith will make capable great things. I done decided to break pain. Look around and call me on my A game. So speak like the A train. The crowd that I'm stalking on, I gotta maintain. I'm by myself, I don't gang bang. When you wanna get in my crown, then I'm down every time, not just now and then. Yeah, I heard you got your thousands, but me, yo, I got my 10,000s. God gave me dreams doing that, I would chest it.
I'm steady chasing, I'm staying focused on what I'm gonna be. I'm making it up, but I won't lose ground. Cause I'm still stuck in my destiny. I'm still stuck in my destiny.